Broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, Dave Klemick, and Nikki Earnshaw. And it's a Saturday morning. And, of course, the Eagles play on Friday. 6 days from today, they open up in Brazil, Dave.
Even to me, that sounds
it's
weird.
weird.
Because, wouldn't you want to go into a market where there's, a lot of money and stuff like that?
They're
trying to
trying to
expose football. I don't know that Brazil is going to be
I don't like it. But it is what it is. Now, you got a great get. Jaaron Hayek Jaaron Hayek is calling in today because he plays with the Chiefs. You played with the Chiefs.
Yes, and he's a wide receiver. And he's been in that same locker room that I was, and I got a lot of cool questions for him. I try to not ask him too much ahead of time because I want to hear it firsthand. But
all right. Let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room Kansas City Chiefs Jaaron Hayek. Good morning, Jaaron.
Good morning, Billy. Thank you for having me on.
So when Dave called me, he said that he invited you onto the show. I said, that is really, really cool because we have so many questions to ask you. But it's also cool because Dave played for the Chiefs and you guys got that connection.
Yeah, and I even when I first reached out to him, I actually didn't even know that he played for them. So it was a really cool connection, and I'm glad this worked out.
So you're nursing an injury. You were hurt. You tore your shoulder up. Explain to us what injury you have.
Yeah, so I'm just dealing with an AC joint injury right now. I just fell on it in practice, and unfortunately, just completely bad timing. I'm just lucky it's not a super serious injury. It happened, a couple of days before the first preseason game, so knocked me out for the rest of the preseason. And like every football player knows that when you miss the training camps in the beginning of it, it's really tough, especially when you're undrafted. You went to Villanova, you're a local product, Nova guy, and so but when you have a setback like that, especially when you're undrafted, it's tough. Yeah, so I was actually having a great training camp, like you said. I'm trying to make a name for myself as an undrafted guy. You get looked over throughout the draft process, and you want to make a name for yourself throughout training camp and OTAs. And I was trending upwards, and unfortunately, like I said, it just a small bump in the road.
Well, I saw the injury.
And just like that's what sports teaches you, how to overcome adversity. And I was just kidding with Dave. We were talking about your first name. I said, well, when you make the big contract, you'll change your name to Jaaron.
He's thinking about it right now.
When he signed that first multi-million-dollar contract.
I saw his injury was on a touchdown in a scrimmage. Yeah, right. So it wasn't like he scored and then landed on it. So it wasn't like he just kind of screwing around. He's downplaying it. I saw it was a great play too.
Yeah, it was actually it was a pass from Carson Wentz. So it was a touchdown.
Oh, how about that?
Wentz. Yeah.
All right. The one big question we have is playing on the Chiefs, former Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl last year, but Patrick Mahomes, did you get a chance to interact with him a lot in camp? What's it like? What type of a leader is he?
So it wasn't too much individual one-on-one conversations, but, obviously being there for 3-4 months and viewing his work ethic every day and his daily habits and his routine, it was second to none. And I kind of explained this to Dave. It was unbelievable seeing it from a teammate perspective rather than a fan perspective now. And people can argue all day about who the best quarterback in the league is or how good they are and talk about their talent. But being able to view Patrick and for the last 3-4 months was, I'll never take that for granted. His daily work ethic, like I said, it was insane. He would show up to work every day, just wanting to get better. And like you already said, he's already a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and it's just he has all the accolades in the world and he has all the money in the world, but no matter what, he showed up every single day in OTAs when he really didn't have to, and every single day in training camp he demands the absolute best out of his teammates, including, Travis, who's going on year 12, year 13. And so he doesn't really care who you are, he doesn't care what your status is. He wants the best from the guys around him.
Hey, Jaaron, as Dave Klemick here, also, me and him played in the same conference.
Okay.
So I paid very close attention to all the receivers, make sure none of them was breaking my records. And he was coming. He was one of those guys that was on. I don't know. I'm gonna make sure I would look up. He was a great player at Villanova, fantastic. But I had a question. Like, how does the quarterback coaches deal with that type of a talent? Like, what do they say to Patrick Mahomes?
Who's-
Like,
yeah, who's got
hey,
two-
stay in the pocket and deliver the ball. Keep your shoulder up high. Like, he just does the most creative stuff in the world. How did you hear them coaching that, or did they even bother?
It's funny you say that because I was actually wondering the same thing, and like I said, he wants the absolute best out of everyone, and including himself. So he's still coachable, and whether that come from Coach Nagy, the OC, or his Coach Girardi, the quarterback coach, or it really comes from Coach Reid. And obviously, Coach Reid's very well respected and a future Hall of Fame coach. So he takes coaching just like everybody else. But I would say, if I had to give you an answer, probably the head coach, probably Coach Reid would give him.
I was going to say, how much interaction did you do with Coach Reid?
A decent amount. Yeah, as you guys know, he's a Philly guy to start, and he actually lived in the town of Villanova. So he knew all the surrounding areas that I did, and he was very familiar with the space. So we talked a good bit about that. We had a couple of conversations. And, we just had that Philly connection that most people don't.
We're talking with Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Jaaron Hayek. And, Jaaron, what was it like with Travis Kelce? I mean, you talk about a guy with a high profile. I mean, he does the podcast with his brother. They just signed a big deal, and of course, he dates one of the most talented singers out of all of them. What is it like being in his presence? Is he like? Can you feel that, or is he a normal guy?
No, I could definitely feel it. I mean, after a while. After a while, I mean, everybody in the world knows him now. You know,
right.
It's just across the globe, different countries. So you could definitely feel it when they first started in OTAs a couple months ago. When he first walked in the door, it was like, you know, you kind of take a step back and you really realize what position you're in. And
like as a young kid like you, like you're like, are you like overwhelmed? Like, wow, there's Travis Kelce. I mean, there's obviously the rest of the team's there, but you notice when he walks in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He holds a presence for sure.
And you didn't see. I don't think Taylor Swift was around in the preseason.
No, I don't.
Do the guys tease him? I mean, like, do the other guys, the veterans that are in the locker room, do they give him a hard time like normal or?
I didn't witness any of that. Probably more during the season, but I didn't witness any of that.
So I went out there for the Legends Week. We were the Chargers Week. Dante Hall gets inducted to the Hall of Fame, right? And
who you beat in the race?
Yeah,
right.
And yep, you just can.
Man.
Probably the only reason why I'm on this show right now. So because I can tell stories about that. But you know, when I saw Taylor Swift was 30 feet from me, and the only person more famous in that stadium than Patrick Mahomes was Taylor Swift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people basically turned their backs to the game to like just look at her. It was wild. It was a wild experience.
So, Jaaron, how far along are you with your rehab? Are you going to the Clemic Performance Method to get some extra work in?
Yeah, so I actually just got home about a week or so ago. So I just started PT back home in Jersey, and yeah, like you said, I'm gonna head down to South Jersey here soon and get some more work in with Dave to work on some lower body stuff while I'm rehabbing the upper body.
So what is your timetable? When do you expect to be able to play? And is there anybody you're catching on with, or are you going to go back to the Chiefs?
Yeah, so I won't know the exact answer to the teams or interests until around early to mid-October. So after about the first week of October is kind of the target date for the return to injury, and hopefully I'm 100% by then. And that's when I'm able to go ahead and work out with teams, et cetera, including the Chiefs.
Coming from Villanova, Villanova football team practices in Ocean City so every once in a while, usually in the beginning of the summer. Did you get a chance to come down with the Wildcats and practice in Ocean City?
Yeah. So while I was there, we went every single year. I think we turned into a yearly thing now. So we head down, I think around early to mid-August. Yeah. And yeah, we do a little our spring game there down in Ocean City, which is a great time.
Obviously Ocean City has been really doing well with the battle at the beach. Excuse me. We saw Mainland Dave's former team play against Atlantic City. Of course, IMG played Bergen Catholic, and you're familiar with them. But it draws a big crowd. It's a really great, really great event.
Yeah, like you said, it's a great venue there. You know, you got the ocean breeze coming towards your way on the field, so it doesn't get too hot. And then, you get the really cool background with the Ferris wheel on the beach. So I think it's definitely a cool venue. And that was cool yesterday to see Bergen Catholic and IMG play there, which are two powerhouses in the whole entire country.
Belichick was there. He was in the house.
It's been drawing some big names. Well,
we covered it last year.
Yeah.
We covered it.
We broadcasted live there from last year. It was a lot of fun from Cary Stadium. Well, Jaaron, listen, man, we really, Jaaron, we really appreciate it. I'm sorry, these guys are teasing me.
You're good.
We really appreciate you coming on, man, and good luck to you in the future. Hopefully, you catch on with somebody.
Yep, I really appreciate it.
All right, there he is.
Good luck, brother.
Jaaron Hayek on the Tom's River Volkswagen Sports Hotline. You guys are pretty. I know I do that all the time because you guys are staring at me like waiting for me to make a mistake.
Well, he's actually going to come down here and get some work into it, and he's going to work out. He's going to do PT with Ryan Bucaferni at Peak Performance, and who's like.
So what are you going to work on with him?
Because he can't move his shoulder, he can't. He doesn't have mobility of his shoulder. Ryan's going to work with him over there.
Okay.
And then he's going to come over to us and do lower body stuff.
Okay.
Probably increasing vertical leap while he can because he can't move his shoulder. You need.
Do you know what he runs? Do they still run the 40s? What?
Yeah, he ran about a
40?
4.59.
So he's a fast guy too.
Well, he has a cool story we didn't even ask him about. When he got to training camp, he was like a walk-on player.
Right.
50-person tryout where you just go. He made it.
And
so
signed
I
him.
remember we kept one guy, and he ended up playing. His name was Reid, I think, and he played 11 years in the NFL. I mean, he's a grinder too. Like this kid made it out of 50.
He looks like he's a tough kid. You got his profile right there.
Benched
Jaaron Hayek.
Benched 20 times 225.
Did he
at
really?
His pro day. Yeah, he's a great athlete.
And he's what about 6 foot 200? 6 foot 200 pounds.
Yeah.
All right.
He said Xavier Worthy was only. He's talking about Xavier Worthy, the fastest guy ever in the NFL. He said he looked like a miniature girl basketball player.
Really?
He's so tiny. Yeah, he's like.
So, but you know what? Just to hear him talk about walking into that locker room and seeing Mahomes and Travis Kelce, that you can be intimidated even as a player.
Yeah, I mean, when I first walked in and met Tony Gonzalez and Bubby Brister, those two guys who I've been like, oh my gosh.
Right, you knew them growing up.
I was like, oh gosh, I didn't want to talk to him. I couldn't look at him. You know what I mean? That's probably what he's feeling right now. You can hear he's kind of quiet about it.
Yeah.
Where when it's all said and done, you could talk in hindsight and retro talk about it and laugh. But I was very nervous and intimidated too.
Yeah, you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if you're an undrafted free agent, you're walk-on.
Yeah.
You're a walk-on.
Yeah.
And you know how hard it is for walk-ons.
Well, Bubby Brister told me, he's like, you get that look off your face, kid.
Really?
He's like, yeah, because I got to throw you this ball. And he's like,
and I don't want you
to
see stars in your eyes.
Because he was a backup. I'm a backup.
Right.
He's got to throw me the ball.
He told you to get that look out of your face?
Get the look off that face. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Right away. And I was like,
that's a great
did I have that look? Did I give that away? He's like, oh, yeah.
That's a great get, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
course.
On the other side, we'll get a little into some Eagles football. And then at the top of the hour, we're going to talk with Kristen Morby of NBC Sports. She's down in Brazil. Like, this not the players are being they're giving them tips on what to do. Not carry your phone. Don't wear gold chains.
Yeah, well, we think of Brazil, you're thinking beaches and this and that.
It's not.
They're
not
off the beach.
The stadium's an hour away from the beach.
It's like a third world country. Is it third? Is there such a thing as a second world country? I've never heard of a second world. I think
there's
Brazil
a first world country
world.
and there's a third world country.
I think that's
is there a second world country?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call. Chris Mooney at 609-399-1227. Now, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they'll have private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912 4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up hour number 1. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schweim, Dave Klemick, and Nikki Earnshaw right here on 97.3 ESPN.